Next time you bite into a slice of watermelon or a cob of corn, consider this: these familiar fruits and veggies didn't always look and taste this way. Genetically modified foods, or GMOs, inspire strong reactions nowadays, but humans have been tweaking the genetics of our favorite produce for generations. While GMOs may involve splicing genes from other organisms, such as bacteria, to give plants desired traits, like resistance to pests, selective breeding is a slower process whereby farmers select and grow crops with those traits over the years. From bananas to eggplant, here are some of the foods that looked totally different before humans first started growing them for food. This detail from a 17th century painting by Giovanni Stanchi depicts a watermelon that looks strikingly different from modern melons, as Vox points out. A cross-section of the one in the painting, which was made between 1645 and 1672, appears to have swirly shapes embedded in 6 triangular pie-shaped pieces. Evidence of the cultivation of both C. lanatus and C. colocynthis in the Nile Valley has been found from the 2nd millennium BC onward, and seeds of both species have been found at 12th dynasty sites and in the tomb of Pharaoh Tutankhamun. Seedless watermelons were initially developed in 1939 by Japanese scientists who were able to create seedless triploid hybrids which remained rare initially because they did not have sufficient disease resistance. Seedless watermelons became more popular in the 21st century, rising to nearly 85% of total watermelon sales in the United States. Wild banana. The first bananas may have been cultivated at least 7,000 years ago, and possibly as early as 10,000 years ago, in what is now Papua New Guinea. They were also grown in Southeast Asia. Modern bananas came from 2 wild varieties, Musa acuminata and Musa balbisiana, which had large hard seeds, like the ones in this photo. It grows lush leaves in clumps with a more upright habit than most cultivated bananas. Flowers grow in inflorescences colored red to maroon. The fruit are between blue and green. They are considered inedible because of the seeds they contain. It may be assumed that wild bananas were cooked and eaten, or agriculturalists would not have developed the cultivated banana. The hybrid produced the delicious modern banana, with its handy, graspable shape and peelable covering. Compared to its ancestor, the fruit has much smaller seeds, tastes better, and is packed with nutrients. Wild eggplant. Throughout their history, eggplants have come in a wide array of shapes and colors, such as white, azure, purple, and yellow, like those shown here. Some of the earliest eggplants were cultivated in China. Primitive versions used to have spines on the place where the plant's stem connects to the flowers. It is also known as turkey berry, prickly nightshade, chushu bush, wild eggplant, pea aubergine, kantsi or abeduru, Ghana, Kitali, Liberia, Suzumba. The plant is usually 2 or 3 meters in height and 2 centimeters in basal diameter, but may reach 5 meters in height and 8 centimeters in basal diameter. The shrub usually has a single stem at ground level, but it may branch on the lower stem. The stem bark is gray and nearly smooth with raised lenticels. The inner bark has a green layer over an ivory color. Little and others, 1974. The plants examined by the author, growing on firm soil, had weak taproots and well-developed laterals. The roots are white. Foliage is confined to the growing twigs. The twigs are gray-green and covered with star-shaped hairs. The spines are short and slightly curved and vary from thick throughout the plant, including the leaf midrib, to entirely absent. The leaves are opposite or 1 per node, broadly ovate with the border entire or deeply lobed. The petioles are 1 to 6 centimeters long and the blades are 7 to 23 by 5 to 18 centimeters and covered with short hairs. The flowers are white, tubular with 5 pointed lobes, and grouped in corymbiform cymes. They are shed soon after opening. Wild carrot. The earliest vegetable definitely known to be a carrot dates from the 10th century in Persia and Asia Minor and would have been quite unlike the orange-rooted carrot of today. It is considered that carrots were originally purple or white with a thin root, then a mutant occurred, WHIC. H removed the purple. Wild carrot appears in many temperate regions of the world, far beyond its Mediterranean and Asian centers of origin where this plant displays great diversity. Almost certainly those ancient cultures in these regions used wild and early forms of the domesticated carrot as a herb and a medicine before they were used as a root vegetable in the conventional sense of that term today. It is also quite likely that the seeds were used medicinally in the Mediterranean region since antiquity. Bangor 1958. Farmers domesticated these thin, white roots, which had a strong flavor and biennial flower, into these large, tasty orange roots that are an annual winter crop. Maize, called corn in some countries, is the maize, a member of the grass family Poaceae. It is a cereal grain which was first grown by people in ancient Central America. It is now the third most important cereal crop in the world. However, little of this maize is eaten directly by humans. Most is used to make corn ethanol, animal feed and other maize products, such as corn starch and corn syrup. Perhaps the most iconic example of selective breeding is North American sweet corn, which was bred from the barely edible teosinte pea. Plant. Natural corn, shown here, was first domesticated in 7000 BC and was dry like a raw potato, according to this infographic by chemistry teacher James Kennedy. Today, corn is 1,000 times larger than it was 9,000 years ago and much easier to peel and grow. Also, 6.6% of it is made up of sugar, compared with just 1.9% in natural corn, according to Kennedy. About half of these changes occurred since the 15th century, when European settlers started cultivating the crop. Peaches used to be small, cherry-like fruits with little flesh. Although its botanical name Prunus persica refers to Persia, present Iran, from where it came to Europe, genetic studies suggest peaches originated in China, where they have been cultivated since the Neolithic period. Until recently, it was believed that the cultivation started c. 2000 BC. More recent evidence indicates that domestication occurred as early as 6000 BC in Zhejiang province of China. But after thousands of years of farmers selectively breeding peaches are now 64 times larger, 27% UC. And 4% sweeter. So next time someone tells you we shouldn't be eating food that's been genetically modified, you can tell them we already are. Thanks for watching and tell us, will you still eat these food knowing that they have been modified? We would like to know.